basis? How often do you use it? Do you use it every day? Pretty regularly. Okay, how many people use email? Oh, a lot of people. Great. How many people use online banking? Still quite a few. All right. How many people use a debit card? All right. Sometimes. All right. We're going to talk about that. How many people check their credit history on a regular basis? All right. This is a good group. This is a good. And finally, how many people own a shredder? All right. That's good. All those things are important stuff that we're going to talk about as we go along here. Email and internet, they're wonderful tools that we have, and we can get a wealth of information on the internet, and we can communicate rapidly with people, and people can send us emails. We have to, as we're finding out, we have to be very careful about how we use the internet and email that we receive. The basic rule is this: if you receive something in an email that is unsolicited, and you don't know who it's from, be very suspicious. Also, be very suspicious about ever opening attachments on emails, because attachments are often the way that scammers try and attack our computers and attach viruses that can then get other information. If you're doing online banking, that can be a particular concern, because they may be able to find ways to breach your computer. If you keep sensitive information on your computer, like tax forms, like IRS tax returns, some people do that, that can be a problem, because they can attack that information and they can actually download it on your computer. So if you get an email, you don't know who it's from, delete it. And if you see an attachment and you don't know who that attachment is from, you're at all suspicious about it, don't open it, because it's too dangerous. Let me just talk about debit cards for a second. So many of you pay with debit cards, right? I have never used a debit card. I don't think I'll ever use a debit card. One of the big issues that we're going to talk about that we deal with is identity theft. All right, a big issue. ID theft is rampant in our society. I mean, we saw that breach over the holidays at Target and Neiman Marcus, and we're still sorting through some of the issues involved with that. There was a lot of information that was taken, and it is a fairly regular event that the data is breached. We get notices at the AG's office of every data breach that we know about, that we hear about, that affects New Hampshire citizens. And if you go on our website, you can actually look at the list of data breach notices that we get. It's astounding how many times that we get that. So, yes, sir.
With debit cards, you have to use a PIN number.
Yes.
Isn't that secure?
Well, it could be. It could not always be secure. My point with the debit card is this: that if you are the victim of ID theft, you have much less protection using a debit card than if you use a credit card. So if you use a credit card for your purchases, you can almost always get back the money that was taken from you, if there's an ID theft. In a debit card, you may get it back, it's just more difficult to get it back. So I understand it's convenient, because a debit card is actually a direct transfer out of your account, out of your checking account.
I thought the debit would be better if you go to like a large place, like Walmart, for example.
Right. You get more protection. You get more fraud protection. Check with your credit card company. You're going to find that you get much more fraud protection by using a credit card. And check with your bank and ask them what kind of protections do you get with a debit card. If your debit card information is stolen, if there's some sort of a data breach, they get that information, they use your debit card, how much protection do you get? How quickly is that money restored to your account, if it is restored at all to your account? That's a question. My opinion is, that you get much more protection by using a credit card. Yes, ma'am?
I have a debit card, I use it very cautiously. I understand there is no protection on the debit card, and the radio code, Mark Howard, he's a financial guru or whatever, he says the same thing, that you should have a debit card with a limited amount of money, maybe a couple $100, but they can really tap into your whole checking account.
Right.
And that really, there is essentially no protection.
That's
You
right.
may get it in the bank, but there's none legally.
Right, I mean, your bank may restore the money, and I can say, you can check with your bank, and I think that banks have different policies. But that's right, I mean,
You don't
it's,
have to,
they don't have to.
there's no law.
They don't have to. But your credit card is going to carry protection. That's simply the fact. The other question? Yes,
You use your debit card only at the bank.
for ATM withdrawals?
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine. Sure, that's fine, but that's not making a purchase, that's accessing the ATM machine, right?
Well, I've heard of ATM machines being used too.
Well, that's definitely true, and I think some of these gentlemen can probably talk about that, they probably investigated some of those cases, but that's true. You know, there's a lot of activity, and this is not meant to scare you, it's meant to give you tools so that you understand that these things could happen and to take steps to protect yourself. The other thing is, be very careful about giving out any personal information to people that you don't know.